Don't be shy. Step right in. Doofy Doo's door is always open. Especially when he's making episode 51 of the talk through for Shiren the Wanderer. This episode, I'm going to continue through the middle of Bufu's cave. Hopefully, I will find a nice juicy Crossbowboy so I can load up on iron arrows this episode. I am going to continue to just ramble about whatever I happen to be thinking about at this particular moment. And last episode, I didn't get a chance to talk about the super cool monster I designed that was kind of related to the idea of hierarchy. So I promise this episode, oh, was haben wir hier? Wie ist dein Name? Das Meatmaker? Sehr gut. Oh yeah, who had one semester of German in the 10th grade and got an A-? Doofy Doo, that's who. Alright, well I named this meat maker. I will begin talking about the new monster I designed that takes advantage of something I like to call threat inversion. What is threat inversion? Threat inversion is when an enemy that used to be something you really didn't worry about suddenly becomes a serious threat. And doesn't really happen in a lot of games. Usually if an enemy, never gonna get any Crossbowboy meat. It's okay. This run has been so nice to me so far, I'm not even gonna complain. Although I really hate this floor template. It's so predictable. Although, if I get another... Oh, that makes up for it. A second Death Reaper meat. There aren't a lot of games with threat inversion where an enemy that was really easy to beat, suddenly you start worrying about it when you reach a really high level. Thanks to permadeath and the fact that a single weapon can take hours and hours to craft, Shiren has that for a lot of enemies. Most notably the Rice Changer, but also the Skull Mage family and the Death Metals family. When you're a low level, like that Death Metal knocked away my, I think it was a polearm, no it was a katana. In my Table Mountain run, the first Table Mountain run, it destroyed my katana. Of course I made a big deal about it because I was being silly, but you know, that's not really a big deal. But as you get higher and higher level, you're going to have a better and better sword. And that Death Metal is more and more terrifying. With the Rice Changer, same thing. You get items that are rarer and rarer and represent more and... Hey, already a bronze ward. Sweet. Something I picked up last floor was an Induba though. You see it identifies itself every floor. I hope it wasn't Das Meatmaker. Let me see. Well, just a regular bronze ward, but that is good enough. I've got enough food. I got 2 Death Reaper meats. I got a shield. I'm calling it. This bonus dungeon is defeated. As good as defeated. Go ahead. Do your worst. Come at me, bro. You can shoot logs to the face at me all day. Oh my goodness. And a pumpkin muppet. If I get this pumpkin muppet meat. Aww. If I get pumpkin muppet meat, officially, this run is over. Because I can escape anything. Yeah, it was Das Meatmaker. That's okay, I'll turn you into some handy experience. I think the very highest level in Double or False Idol is the only one that does a ridiculous amount of damage. Like, the damage increase on that last one is huge. But what was I talking about? Oh, threat inversion. Of course, the Rice Changer can Rice Change something really precious. So once you start getting strengthening jars, you might have 5 really precious things. Oh, Pumpkin Muppet, please give me... Oh, yes! Pumpkin Muppet meat. This run is already probably like 10 times better than the previous run. That crazy purple slime-filled run. That run was so boring. This run is amazing. I love it already. I'm checking every space for traps, by the way, because I am Shiren the Grandma. Go ahead. Curse whatever you want. I'm ready for you. Please don't. Okay. The one thing that could stop me would be... No, I already had a curse girl meet too. Nothing can stop me. I'm unstoppable. Anyway, yeah, the Rice Changer is a perfect example of threat inversion. So later on, when you get more stuff and actually are further along in the game, enemies that you did not really worry about too much, or you might have even run to in an effort to make rice balls. You don't even go on those rice ball floors. They're so terrifying. And Skull Mages, I'm going to tell you later on, there's a certain item you get when you're really powerful that actually makes Skull Mages very dangerous in the beginning of the game. The enemy I'm designing is going to be yet another example of threat inversion, a much more overt example. I don't know what the name is going to be, and it's also going to flatten the hierarchy, which is why I rambled about hierarchy last episode. But it's going to look like a woman who is blindfolded. In one hand, she's going to be holding scales, kind of like the Statue of Liberty. No, Statue of Liberty has a torch and a book. I'm getting my statues mixed up. If you're wondering why I'm running around the level as a Death Reaper, I am hunting pumpkin Muppets. Be very, very quiet. Because as a Death Reaper, I won't burn through so many turns, and Kron's wind hopefully won't blow before I find a few more pumpkin Muppets. If I can load up on pumpkin Muppet meat. Oh, the two most dangerous enemies on the floor, but I have double speed, it doesn't matter. Also, if I have double speed, these Lelics are almost no threat, because they'll hypnotize me and what can I do? All I can do is attack, so I'll attack in a random direction, and then I get a free turn next time, because they can't hypnotize me again, because I have double speed. So that's a good defense against a Lelic. Just become a monster with double speed. What was I talking about? Oh, already? Didn't even find another pumpkin Muppet. I was thinking of the statue of... Oh, there we go. Perfect example. See, now I have a free turn. So really nothing that Lelic can do against me. I was thinking of the Statue of Justice. So like the blindfolded Statue of Justice. Scales in one hand. In the other hand... Alright. Doofy, time to get out of here. It's going to have a staff, not a sword. And the level 1 version of this enemy... Again, I don't know. We'll just call it Justice for now. Is going to do different things in relation to your relative health level. So, if you have more HP than this enemy, it is going to heal itself with the staff. If you have less HP than the enemy, it is going to heal you. So basically, it is always working to get your HP levels to be equal. After it levels up, one side of its staff is going to have a blade on it. And it's still going to heal itself if it has less HP than you. But it's going to attack you if you have more HP than it. Alright, got it? So far pretty simple. It's just acting to basically equalize your HP levels. The level 3 version of this monster is where things get complicated and promiscuous. The level 3 version of Justice is going to keep track of the HP levels of every monster around it. So in a square around it, of course that's going to include you, but any other monster also. If it has less HP than you, it's going to attack you and reduce your HP with a single attack to the HP of the weakest monster around it. So let's imagine, this is kind of complicated, that there is a fluffy bunny next to this level 3 Justice, and you're also one space away from Justice. You have more hit points than Justice, so it's going to attack you. It isn't going to heal. It's not going to reduce your HP to the point where it's at. Maybe it has 20 and you have 40. It's going to attack you and reduce you to 5 HP because the monster that has the lowest amount of HP close to it is the fluffy bunny with 5 HP. So that makes it so that you really have to pay attention to the other monsters around the enemy. However, it has a good side. If you have less hit points than the level 3 Justice, it's going to heal you to the point where you have the equivalent HP to the most powerful enemy that's standing close to Justice. Or Justice itself, obviously, if there's no other enemies. So you can imagine if the Tainted Insect was one space away from Justice, and it had 100 HP, or 200 HP, or 300 HP, and let's say Justice has 30 and you have 20, so you have less than Justice, it's going to heal you, but it's not just going to heal you to 30. It's going to try to heal you all the way up to 300 HP, and maybe you don't have that high of a max, but it would basically max out your HP because it's trying to give you as many hit points as the enemy with the highest number of hit points that's close to it. Alright, that's really, really complicated, and it would obviously would take a little while to even figure out what it was doing in the beginning. You'd be like, what the heck is this monster even doing? Sometimes it's healing me, and sometimes it's healing me a ton. But slowly, gradually, you would realize it. And I think learning about the behavior of that monster would be really cool. And the fact that it interacts with the other monsters near it makes it really promiscuous and introduces a lot of strategy. And because it has the potential to reduce you quite a lot, the more hit points you get, the higher max HP is, the deeper in a dungeon you get, the more dangerous this monster is. In the beginning, it's always going to have more hit points than you if you're under-leveled. So it's actually kind of a good thing. It's probably going to heal you more often than not. But as you get more powerful, this monster is getting more and more dangerous. And I love that idea of threat inversion. Alright. If you don't understand, don't worry about it. I have to like think about it myself to even explain it to somebody. The level 4 version of Justice. It's going to randomly attack or heal you. If it decides to attack you, it will randomly attack you and reduce you to the hit points of the monster in the entire room, not just close to it, but of the entire room that has the least... Oh, come on, Pumpkin Muppet. Oh, this run is the best ever. I love this run so much. To the weakest monster in the room. So if there's anything in the room, if there's a monster in the room that has 1 HP, and it's all the way across the room, it's going to attack you and reduce you down to 1 HP. Now, if it decides to heal you, you can probably imagine what will happen. It will heal you to have the equal number of hit points to the most, I don't want to say powerful, but the enemy with the most hit points in the room. So again, if you're in a room with the boss, the chances of it healing you all the way are pretty high as long as the boss has a lot of hit points. Or any enemy like a Renadillo that has a high number of hit points. It's randomly going to choose whether to attack or heal you. Except for 2 cases. And if you think about this, this will make sense. There's 2 cases where it will not randomly pick one of those 2. What are those 2 cases? Case number 1. You have the most hit points of any character in the room. It's not going to heal you, it's going to attack you every time, and it's always going to reduce you to the lowest number of hit points of any monster in the room. Second case, you have the fewest number of hit points of any monster in the room. It's not going to ever attack you, it's going to heal you every time. And it'll heal you to the highest monster in the room. It'll make you equivalent to that. Now, this is a very, very complicated design, and it violates my rule about being simple. I'm sacrificing simplicity for some depth and promiscuity. But I like it, because I have a thing for threat inversion, and I feel like it flattens the hierarchy. When you eat the meat of this monster, the abilities are going to have to change a little bit, so it's not quite as unbalanced. And I haven't thought through all the ramifications of what this monster would mean, but I like it. I like the idea. Obviously, I would change the name, and maybe I'm not a graphic designer, so maybe make the appearance a little more funny or unique. But oh my goodness, if I get one more, I don't know. Oh my goodness gracious. This run can't get any better. I'm sorry. There's no way for me to lose this run now. You might as well just skip all the other episodes till I get to phase final puzzle, because this is in the bag, okay? I really shouldn't gloat like this. This is when you make horrible mistakes. Alright, stay alert, Doofy. Don't step on a trap. And don't get blown all the way back to Canyon Hamlet. I need to get out of here. Alright, it is time to end the episode. I was able to finally make it through that complicated monster design. Next episode, I'm going to take a break and you'll get a sneak preview of Ravine of the Dead, the most dangerous bonus dungeon in the game. I'm going to try a couple rescues. So we'll find out if Doofy has what it takes to be a hero again next time. I'll see you then. What you are about to witness is imaginary. The participants are all monsters. They are the actual monsters that have either been designed to appear on this floor or have been summoned by a trap or a wiggy bell. All monsters on the floor have agreed to attack Shiren the Wanderer and destroy his loot here on these floors in the Kitchen God's Cave.
Come at me, bro.